I don't think it really is realistic to think anything will be accomplished in 2 days. The big issues are intellectual property, which the Trump administration actually tried to negotiate with, the Obama administration tried to negotiate with the Chinese in 2016 and ran out of time. So solving that is going to take a year if it gets solved. Beyond that, the Trump administration has concerns about Chinese industrial policy, and the Chinese are not going to give on that. So I'm not optimistic.
So when you say things getting solved, what exactly are we looking for here? Because both sides will need to give concessions. And we understand that intellectual property is very important to China. They also export a lot more goods to the US than the US exports to China, vice versa. So what is China going to get out of the US?
Well, I think China can offer the US cosmetic concessions on motor vehicle tariffs and the like. It's in China's interest to strengthen intellectual property protections because it is increasingly going to become a producer of intellectual property and not simply a consumer. I think there is scope over time for negotiating a bilateral intellectual property and investment treaty between the two countries, but to tell China not to pursue high tech and not to develop an industrial policy, that's a non-starter, and over that issue I think negotiations could blow up.
So we were just talking about how China was espousing this concept of multilateralism, free trade, but then again, taking a step back, I mean, there seems to be an absence of trust when it comes to some of these multilateral institutions, WTO, many issues there, and it's not just the US who have an issue with the WTO. You speak to many different leaders, and a lot of people take offense at the fact that China is still classified as a developing economy as far as the WTO rules are concerned. So perhaps this conversation needed to happen in order to restore trust, or in order to modernize some of the trade agreements versus where they were 20 years ago. This is a conversation that had to be had. Perhaps the manner in which it's being dealt with isn't ideal, but then I think many people would agree that it has been a little bit lopsided.
Well, talking is good. Clearly, jaw is better than war, trade war, or any other kind. But again, I think it's important to be realistic about what can be accomplished in a couple of days, namely nothing, except to set the stage for additional negotiations.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.